Right, yeah, so hello again. This is the second video, and we thought what we would start with here really is a bit more of a sort of a humble beginnings really, in terms of the fact that years ago we were maybe both in some debt, not sort of catastrophic amounts, but I graduated in my early 20s. I had a student loan. I had a large overdraft. I had probably a loan and a credit card, and I think through my early 20s I just carried on. I was living in an overdraft every month. I was getting catastrophic sort of bank charges. I was getting 100 quid a month in bank charges, and I remember kind of in my mid 20s I probably owed about £15,000. It's probably maybe even closer to being 30 years old. And it struck to me one night that even if I was made redundant from my current job, that the redundancy probably wouldn't cover the debt I was in. And it was almost that eureka moment where I really thought, wow, I need to address this. I need to deal with this and sort of stop living in my overdraft and actually, because I was getting a loan to pay off a credit card and then using the credit card again. My sort of financial acumen was really poor, and I wasn't earning badly, but I just managed my money very badly back then. But then the swing was, I went from that to, I got my finances organised, and then I earned more money after being made redundant in another job, and then I was able to sort of to save a lot of money, and I got caught in that habit of saving and sort of feeling good, that sort of knowing that I put money away every month, that sort of positive sort of vibe that you get when you are putting some money away. But of course, saving money isn't just the way to do it these days, because money gets eroded with interest rates for savers being very, very low and inflation being very, very high. So these days, and this is part of the reason for this channel, people need to be a bit more savvy with their money, and that's sort of what we're going to be exploring. So Claire, tell us your story.
So I didn't have a massive debt, but I think when we're young, when we're at school, we don't get financial advice. We don't learn about this stuff, about how your money doesn't really grow in a bank account, and how you just, I was kind of brought up that you get a loan, if you need a car, you get a loan. When I was 17, my very first car was bought with a loan, and that really, I don't think that was particularly clever. And then I upgraded cars, and so I had this big loan, and I was young and I was earning very low money, and the chunk of this loan was coming out of my bank account, and like you, I ended up living in my overdraft, and it was every single month. By a week of getting paid, I'm in my overdraft again. But the silly thing is, you just don't have this financial, you certainly don't think about the future when you're young, do you?
No.
I really didn't. I didn't even think I'd last till I was 21. But it's not it.
But you've made it.
But here I am,
years later.
44. So I survived. But I just didn't care. I'd drink every weekend, go out with my friends, as long as I could buy a new outfit for the weekend and spend money down the pub. That was all I cared about. So fast forward, and then it was really buying a house, and then kind of like having to get my shit together. I was lucky in that my mum gave me the deposit for my first house, so I can't claim any credit for that. But
I never had that luxury.
No, I know, for you. But you have to get all your financial shit in gear, clear up as many debts as you can to be able to get a mortgage. And so I kind of sorted all of that out, but I still ended up, every now and then I'd end up with another loan for something. I did get another loan for a car at one point, but now I realise that as much as you say to yourself that it's just £200, it's just £300, every single month gaining interest as well, it is crap. So I think if I could go back and have a word with my younger self, I would say you don't need the nice shiny car. You're much better off investing that money, looking after your future. So I think really I wish I'd learned to live a bit more frugally and not worry about how I look, how, you know, I have to have the nice car, or you know, designer shoes or expensive makeup. So I think we should cover in this channel a little bit of frugality, sensible choices when it comes to consumerism, because that's something that I'm really only learning fairly recently. But yeah, so I didn't have major debt, but it did weigh me down, and I did end up getting into overdrafts, and I have had to pay charges, but not too bad. That's really, but yeah, I'm just very much against now trying to avoid any sort of debt unless you really have to. You've got no other choice. Your boiler breaks down and you've got no savings, then it's, you know, it's got to be done, hasn't it? You shop around and get the best deal possible, but apart from that, no.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think when I first started looking for financial advice, and I looked on YouTube, and this is only, I think maybe last year, this year, I'm not sure. One thing I learned, and one resounding piece of advice that came from pretty much everyone, is that you should have an emergency fund. You should pay off all your debts, have an emergency fund, and invest in that order. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. The one of the things to talk about potentially, and we'll explore how, as time goes on, is how big is that emergency fund? Because if you've got a massive emergency fund, but you've got the debt of a mortgage as well, but you've got enough money to sort of live on for years as an emergency fund, then obviously that emergency fund is too great, and it could be better spent paying some of that mortgage off, and or investing. Yeah, absolutely. And there's also this kind of, you know, dilemma, I think, as well, in terms of, you know, do you invest money, or do you use your money to pay off your mortgage, and therefore you're paying less in terms of kind of interest charges. And that's something that we can explore, because I think, you know, people maybe get confused in terms of what's the best approach to take. You know, sometimes there isn't the right answer, and these things are also very subjective to the individual as well.
Yeah, I think so, because I'm having that debate at the moment, and I really am swinging one way to the other. So just yesterday I said to you, right, I've got this little chunk of savings and I don't think it's earning me very much in interest, and I said to you, I'm thinking I'm just going to take it out and put it on the mortgage. And then you've shown me some videos of people who have explained why it's much better to invest, let the money grow and work for you, than it is to pay off a very low percent mortgage. My mortgage is about 1%, so it's really good. So I'm very much in that little swinging debate at the moment. I'm having a mass debate with myself.
And of course, excusing sexual innuendos, Claire will update you on in her decision as to what approach she has taken, and for the reasons that she has chosen.
Yes. So that's it, I think, for this video. Thank you so much for watching.
See you again soon.
Do hope you will, what's the word, subscribe, like,
and thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up, comment below your debt stories. Tell us, have you managed to get out of debt, and how did you manage to do it? We'd love to hear from you.